There are certain UFC fighters who have built themselves up over the years with victories over top contenders, where right now they are claiming they are ready to fight for the title. So here is 10 fighters who are demanding a title shot. Number 10. Ilia Latifi has quietly been rising through the light heavyweight rankings, where he is closing in on a title shot very fast. In his last 2 fights, he was able to get past the undefeated Tyson Pedro at UFC 215 with a unanimous decision win, and next picked up the biggest win of his UFC career when he choked Ovin St. Preux unconscious at UFC on Fox 28. In his post-fight interview, he called out the champion Daniel Cormier, demanding a title shot. Ilia Latifi is currently scheduled to face Glover Teixeira at UFC Final 134, where if he is able to secure the victory, he may get his wish and fight Daniel Cormier in the future. Number 9. Henry Cejudo has improved leaps and bounds since losing to Demetrius Johnson at UFC 197, where he has become well-rounded in all areas. After losing a close split decision to Joseph Benavidez at the Ultimate Fighter 24 finale, Henry Cejudo made some big changes, where he displayed great striking skills in his next fight against Wilson Hayes at UFC 215, where he would finish him brutally by TKO. He would next dominate Sergio Pettis using his wrestling at UFC 218, and has been calling out the champion for a rematch. I believe Henry Cejudo has done enough to earn himself a rematch against the champion, where hopefully he can get the rematch with Demetrius Johnson in the future. Number 8. Frankie Edgar has looked amazing in his run in the UFC featherweight division, but has always come up short in winning the title. He lost to then champion Jose Aldo twice, but that didn't stop him climbing back up the rankings. He bounced back after his UFC 200 loss and defeated Jeremy Stevens by a unanimous decision at UFC 205 and finished Jair Rodriguez by TKO at UFC 211. He would next get brutally knocked out by Brian Ortega at UFC 222, but bounced back again with a unanimous decision win over Cub Swanson at UFC Final 128. After the fight, Frankie Edgar demanded a title shot. I believe Frankie Edgar does deserve the next shot at the champion, as he has always performed against the best fighters in the weight class. Number 7. Dominick Cruz has always remained at the top of the bantamweight division for a very long time, but his reign as the champion came to an end when he was dethroned by Cody Garbrandt at UFC 207. Since that fight, he has been sidelined for more than a year due to a number of injuries, and has recently mentioned that he would love to get an immediate crack at the title when he is ready to return to action. The UFC bantamweight title has also changed hands, as TJ Dillashaw is now the reigning champion. I believe Dominick Cruz needs to fight 1 or 2 more top contenders in the weight class to solidify his chance to get a title shot at the champion. Number 6. Dustin Poirier's move to the lightweight division has worked out great for him, as he has dominated some of the biggest names in the weight class. He has put together a record of 7-1 in the lightweight division, and he is closing in on a title shot fast. In his last 2 fights, he was able to finish Anthony Pettis at UFC Final 120, and was able to finish Justin Gaethje at UFC on Fox 29. He has mentioned that he would like to challenge for the UFC title after he defeats Eddie Alvarez in his next fight at UFC on Fox 30. Dustin Poirier has come a long way to reaching the top, where hopefully he is able to challenge for the title soon. Number 5. Jessica Andrade has quickly made herself known in the women's strawweight division with her brute strength and her crazy power. After a lopsided loss to then champion Joanna Jędrzejczyk at UFC 211, she rebounded with the dominant win over Claudia Gadelha at UFC Fight Night 117, and next dominated Tisha Torres, winning the fight by unanimous decision at UFC on Fox 28. She mentioned after her last fight that she was hoping to challenge for the title next. Jessica Andrade is the clear number 1 contender in the weight class, and has done more than enough to earn herself another title shot. Number 4. Tony Ferguson was able to capture the interim UFC lightweight title after he submitted Kevin Lee by a triangle choke at UFC 216. He was set to fight for the vacant UFC lightweight title at UFC 223 against Khabib Nurmagomedov, but suffered a brutal injury to his leg and was forced out of the bout. Tony Ferguson recently mentioned that he expects an immediate title shot when he returns. Tony Ferguson has almost cleared out the lightweight division with some spectacular performances, and definitely deserves the next title shot. Number 3. Kelvin Gastelum's move to the middleweight division has proved a massive success for him, as he has shown what he is truly capable of. He has put together a record of 5-1 in the middleweight division, and is now the next likely challenger for the middleweight title. In his last 2 fights, he was able to pick up a knockout win over former champion Michael Bisping at UFC Final 122, and picked up a split decision victory over Jacare Souza at UFC 224. I believe Kelvin Gastelum has done more than enough to earn himself a title shot with his impressive performances in the middleweight division. Number 2. Alexander Gustafsson has remained the number 1 contender in the light heavyweight division for a very long time, as he has defeated majority of his competition quite convincingly. After losing his second title fight against Daniel Cormier at UFC 192, he made a quick turnaround and defeated Jan Blachowicz by unanimous decision at UFC Final 93, and last knocked out Glover Teixeira at UFC Final 109. With a 2-fight winning streak, Alexander Gustafsson has been calling out the champion for a rematch, and is the clear number 1 contender in the weight class. The champion of the division, Daniel Cormier, is moving moving up in weight class to challenge heavyweight champion Stipe Miocic at UFC 226. Alexander Gustafsson looks better and better with each fight, where hopefully he's able to get the title shot that he deserves. Number 1. Valentina Shevchenko surged to the number 1 spot of the UFC flyweight division after she brutally mauled Priscilla Correira at UFC Final 125, eventually winning the fight by a rear naked choke. She is currently the number 1 contender against title holder Nico Montano and is demanding a title shot. Nico Montano hasn't competed since she won the vacant UFC women's flyweight title after she defeated Roxanne Modafferi at the Ultimate Fighter 26 finale due to suffering a number of injuries. Valentina Shevchenko has earned a title shot, where hopefully she is able to fight for the title this year once the champion is ready to defend the title.